to her credit, and by the grace of God, she did not get up and leave, because that would have been it. And for our society, the majority of women would have walked away, because it was a big load of crap. And she had just supported me through surgery and all of these things, and we were just, okay, we're back. So yeah, huge, crazy moment in time, and just, again, only by the grace of God did I have the fortitude to say it's going to be okay. And I went through it was my brother-in-law, actually, who helped me understand that maybe I will have more business, and because I was like, yeah, I'm done with all of that. I don't want money. I don't want any of that. I just want peace and joy. And I was hanging out with my brother-in-law, Bob Bobbitt, and he said, oh, you know, there's a story like yours. A guy gave up everything. 5 years later, he had a business 10 times the size of what he had. And it went from, I don't want any of that, to, oh, yeah. That's probably how it's going to go for me.
So what is it for you that's the difference today? Because you want to seek money still, but you recognize that there is some sort of difference between good and what you're seeking now.
Right.
To you, what's that key difference? Why is it okay to seek that money now?
I think fundamentally the difference between the good life and the great life is thankfulness. Like, the good life is about, me and my pursuit of the good life was about on my way to attaining. And Kim was, again, brilliant at helping me take moments in time and stop and say, let's just enjoy now. And the good life always feels like it's ahead of me and I'm running at it. The great life is just being thankful for all that you have. And like when we were in Africa, and I had this sense we were going to bring my kids into abject poverty, and it'll show them, you know, boy, you don't want this, you know.
Right.
And boy, is that not true, you know. We go into these villages and people are just, their smiles just melt your heart, and they have nothing and they're totally happy. And you realize, man, that's what I want. I want my kids to see that, to understand that just thankfulness and joy for what you have is great. And it doesn't mean not attaining, because I want nice things, I like nice things, but it has to come from a perspective of being thankful for everything I have, and anything added on it is a blessing. And I like to build the life for my family. I think there's something foundational about men, that you want to provide, you want to create, and you want to have environments that are wonderful for your family to experience. And yeah, I'd say if I get an opportunity to afford a private jet, I want to do that, and I want to provide that for my kids. Will I be thankful if I live the rest of my life in K Drive? For sure. You know, that. So that's it for me, is coming to understand that the pursuit of things is unfulfilling.
Where are you at today then? You set the goal to climb the 7 summits.
Yep.
You climbed Kili and
Elbrus. So we did,
which is, explain to everybody.
The highest peak on the European continent. It's in Russia. Beautiful trip. Great experience. Both experiences, of course, just unbelievable.
So why not stop? Like, why not just be done?
Yeah, no, I would. Yeah, sure.
Joey would let you.
Yeah. I told you.
Gotcha.
No, even as late as, so we started this whole Share the View thing that you're aware of, and even before I launched that, I sat down with them and I said, look, you have to know that this isn't a train you can't get off. We both have to know that that's not what's driving this. And so yeah, he's 100% committed to the 7 summits. We're through 2 of them. We're planning our 3rd, which is Aconcagua, this January. Frankly, I can't afford it. I'm not in a place where I can make it happen on my own. I'm looking for sponsors. Fully trust that it will happen the way that it's supposed to. I probably should be cognizant of the fact that each time I've planned a hike, I've had to replan it. But having said that, a lot of indicators that this is coming together the way that I would hope. And I told Joey that I would fund the first 2, and then we should have created enough momentum that it should be an interesting thing for people to help out with. So,
One of the things we like to do is help other guys that maybe are inspired by your story to do things. And you know, one of the cool things that you inspired me to do is to get back into the outdoors.
Sure.
So any words of wisdom or practical advice of how to get started? You know, a lot of us guys, kind of back to your story of you start a career and you kind of go down this path.
Yeah, sure.
How do we get back into the outdoors?
Yeah, I think it's as easy as not making it a 1 year, 7 summit, all out run, right? Commit to something small and attain it. So find, if not the highest peak in your county, then the highest peak in your neighborhood, and just go do it. I think we as men build up a lot of, okay, how am I going to go about it, and what do I have to have in place? And it's through putting it on the calendar and saying, at this date, at this time, I'm going to do this. And then the things to make that happen will happen. And bite off something that seems a little bit out of your reach, but attainable if you put effort into it. So yeah, I'd recommend the highest peak in your little area that people talk about, that you always kind of in your heart say, I would do that. Or surf, or anything that inspires you that's a little bit out of your reach. Put it on the calendar at a reasonable distance from now, and then just watch what happens.